Welcome to Culture Screen, where we analyze culture. In this episode, we're summarizing the third episode from Season 4 of the Sopranos series titled Christopher. The episode first aired on September 29th, 2002. In the beginning, Columbus Day is nearing when members of the Soprano crime family and their acquaintances learn that Native American activists are planning a protest against Christopher Columbus. Silvio is particularly angered by the possibility that activists could damage the memory of Christopher Columbus, the Italian historical figure. Later on, the Soprano crew wives attend a dinner thrown by Father Intantola, where a speaker addresses the negative notion that every Italian American is a criminal. This, of course, annoys Carmela, Rosalie, and especially Gabriella Dante, Silvio's wife. This draws stares from around the crowd, and Gabriella chastises Father Intantola after the dinner, accusing him of orchestrating the affair to publicly humiliate Carmela due to resentments about their difficult history. On their way home from an event, Bobby Baccagliari's wife, Karen, is killed in a vehicle accident. The accident also causes road traffic to build up. The traffic congestion delays Bobby, who is trying to complete his errands. While stopped in traffic, Bobby reprimands his wife, Karen, to his kid, but when he learns the truth, he is heartbroken. Bobby is so shaken that he begins to blame himself for Karen's death. Meanwhile, Soprano associates are still trying to put a stop to the Columbus Day protests. Silvio, without Tony's permission, tries to break up the protest against Columbus with the help of Patsy, Little Paulie, Artie Bucco, and a few others. After this, a violent brawl erupts, Little Paulie gets hurt, and Artie retreats back to his car. Tony reprimands Silvio for drawing attention to the crew by starting a fight at the protest. This incident pushes Tony to use his influence over Assemblyman Zellman to break up the protest. Meanwhile, Ralph Cifaretto uses the idea that Native American cinema legend Iron Eyes Cody was actually Italian as a way of blackmailing the protest leader Del Redclay. Ralph then invests in a racehorse named Pyomai, which Tony grows to adore. The topic of the Columbus Day protests comes up during a visit to the stables with Hesh, and Hesh appears to abruptly end a friendship he had with a Cuban named Ruben due to their political misunderstanding. Ruben tells Hesh and Tony that his ancestors, the Taino people of Cuba, were also slaughtered by Christopher Columbus. Ruben equates Columbus with Hitler, and this causes Hesh to feel like Ruben is minimizing the Holocaust and calls Ruben an anti-Semite. Ruben does not appear to know the meaning of the word and gets upset at Hesh for calling him that. The next day in the morning, Tony wakes up and AJ is reading Howard Zinn's A People's History, 1492 to the present. AJ describes Christopher Columbus as a slave trader and oppressor. He says his opinion cannot be incorrect because that is what is being taught in school. Tony responds by saying that AJ should walk a day in his shoes, that Columbus was a great explorer, and that in the Soprano household, Columbus will always be considered a hero. Remember, I am summarizing the entire series, so subscribe and click on that notification bell to be reminded when I upload the next episode. I will be reviewing other TV shows and movies as well, so let me know what your favorite TV show and movie is so I can summarize it in the future. Doing these two things helps my channel out tremendously. I thank you for your support. Later on, we see Paulie Walnuts still feeling unappreciated by Tony, so he tries to gain favor with John Sacramone and the New York crime families by informing him about Ralph Cifaretto telling a fat joke about Jeannie, his wife. This joke, of course, makes Johnny furious, but for the time being, Johnny keeps the knowledge of the joke to himself. When he sees Ralph during Karen Baccagliari's funeral, Johnny does not address or speak to Ralph. We see the mafia wives note that Bobby was really the only made man in Jersey that never really had a mistress. Meanwhile, Bobby is seen sobbing hysterically at Karen's funeral. Janice Soprano, who is dating Ralph on the side, while Ralph continues to court widow Rosalie Aprile, is taken aback by this emotions displayed by Bobby. Ralph, who realizes something is off between him and Johnny, walks over to Johnny and hands him an envelope. Johnny smacks the envelope out of the way, and as Tony walks into the room, Johnny prompts Tony to keep Ralph away from him. This leads Tony to believe someone is leaking out inside information of his crew to the New York crew. Tony complains to Silvio that these stunts are costing him a lot of money. As we catch up with Rosalie, she is also devastated at Karen's death, while Ralph is emotionally distant and no longer interested in Rosalie. Ralph is growing more attracted to Janice instead. Ralph ends his relationship with Rosalie April in order to be with Janice. Meanwhile, we see Janice discussing how unhappy she is with Ralph to her therapist. The therapist then advises Janice to end her relationship with Ralph. When Ralph rushes over to Janice's house to tell her the exciting news that he can now fully devote himself to her, we see a perplexed Janice not really knowing what to do. Later on, when Ralph comes back from picking up the last of his clothes from Rosalie's house, we see Janice react violently toward her partner yet again. Janice shoves Ralph down the stairs after he refuses to take off his shoes inside of Janice's house. When Ralph tries to stand up after the fall, he realizes his back has been badly injured. Janice panics and locks herself in her room. Later on, Tony talks to an Indian chief named Doug Smith, who is part Native American. Tony speaks to him about taming Del Red Clay in order to put the Columbus Day crisis to rest. In the end, Smith does nothing to stop the protests, but instead invites Tony, Silvio, and the others to his casino for a special treatment. Silvio prepares to aggravate the issue with Red Clay while the protests continue until Columbus Day. Tony ultimately silences Silvio, dismissing his fixation with Columbus and Italian ancestry in favor of a more individualistic outlook on life. Tony also reveals that they are now in debt to Smith because of the whole scenario, and assigns Silvio to arrange for Frankie Valli to schedule a gig at Smith's casino. We see Tony does not buy into the identity politics, and he does not see the purpose in identifying yourself with a group. Silvio replies to Tony by saying that they are even beginning to lose the traditional names of certain sports teams. That was episode number 42, titled Christopher. To watch the next or previous episode summary, click on the link in the description or at the end of this video. If you enjoyed this summary, consider clicking like. It goes a long way toward helping me grow this channel. Also, consider supporting us on Patreon. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. See you on the next one.
I'm 1/8 Italian myself.
We upload new videos every week, so subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. Click the notification bell to be notified of when we upload these videos. See you on the next episode of Culture Screen.